You know, it's incredible what you're sharing about, and I know that you obviously are very fond of St. Joan of Arc because you talk about her on your website, and you talk about that famous quotation of hers, you know, I was born for this. And we were born for this. And one of my favorite passages in sacred scripture comes from Ephesians 1, verse 4. You know, God chose us in him before the world began to be holy and blameless in his sight, to be full of love. That choosing of God, you know, is an individual matter. He didn't choose us as part of a whole. He chose us uniquely and individually. And as you say, he's gifted us in a profound numbers of ways. He's given us certain temperaments and personalities, all of which, when given to him, he uses to be this dynamic that enters into the life of others. And so just as that choosing of us individually and specifically was part of God's plan for this moment, we are part of God's plan for this moment, and this moment is part of his plan for us. So there's a mutuality here. We're called to be these proclaimers of the gospel message, to work towards the purification and sanctification of the world that he's entrusted us, but by the same token, the circumstances of the world are also to be used by him to be our perfecting agent, to be that which brings us to sanctity. And it's this cooperative venture, but we've got to enter into it in the same way that Joan entered into the battle, you know, against the English. We have to go into it with gusto and with the sure knowledge that God has called us. And that takes a certain amount of what would I want to say, reconfiguring of who we are and why we are and what our purpose and mission in life is all about.